All right, Joe, another drop pod it is. Here to talk about video games.
Yep. I didn't know if you were going to continue, but yeah, we're here to talk about video games once again on the drop pod. And I think this is actually my first drop pod back. I think I missed one last time, so...
Yep, back since your crazy adventures of moving and dealing with incompetent internet providers.
Oh yeah, I ranted about that on the cleanup cast, so go and watch the last one of that if you want to know more about that.
But I was honestly gonna... I thought you were like pausing for like apprehension because I was gonna follow up with... I can see why you're apprehensive about this episode, Joe, because we're gonna be talking about a pretty touchy subject, I guess, depending on your perception of the games industry.
Right.
I really don't know how we're gonna summarize this, but I'll figure it out in post. But basically, we're just gonna be talking about something more controversial, maybe gender-based, the controversies that happened in the last month or so.
Right, because I guess there's been quite a few, like, more recently, but like... I don't really know much about one of them, but I know it involves an ass or something, like a pose of a character in Overwatch, right? Is that...
Yeah, so we'll start with the first big sort of controversy that really went down.
Because I don't know what happened. I saw like the aftermath of people talking about an ass, and I was like, well, what happened to like people be discussing the ass? You know, I was like...
Yeah. So the story goes that Overwatch, an upcoming... team-based shooter from Blizzard.
Right.
Very, very hyped, very excited by a lot of the general gaming populace.
Yeah.
But so there's a character in that game called Tracer. She wears a very tight bodysuit, and that's not just for show, it's literally part of her character. And that actually plays towards sort of the controversy. A user brought to the attention of the developers the fact that Tracer had this pose where she was looking at the camera from looking backwards towards the camera.
So the ass is like camera first, you know what I mean? Like
so her butt was visible again because she's wearing a skin tight suit. And let's be honest, if you haven't seen the images, it's sort of hard to describe here, but
people get it.
Yeah, people this one particular user argued that really didn't mesh well with the Tracer character because she's very spunky and very like all of these, these things.
From what I understand, she's like she's like even I've noticed she's become like a pretty like popular character for like the game. And the game's not even out yet, and like she's like become really popular. I've seen people like cosplaying as her, and a lot of fan art based around the character and things. So I'm guessing she's like a quite prominent character in like the Overwatch kind of lore.
Yeah, so she's very peppy, and so the original poster was just like, this doesn't mesh well, and the developers were like, yeah, we agree, so they changed it.
Right.
And to the greatest dismay of the internet, that became a huge topic in of itself.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's to a certain extent, I'm just like, man, the video game industry is really starving for like a major controversy, because this is like the second time a video game's character's butt has caused a mass like hysteria within the game industry.
Yeah.
Like I would say the most recent other butt related controversy was with Street Fighter's Armika and her butt slap super, which was quote unquote censored,
right?
But if you've played Street Fighter 5 or if you've even seen it in action, you don't know there's a whole lot of booty and more in that game. So but it raises an interesting point to where, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a lot more laid back when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I'm just like, it's a butt,
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people like anybody who can rationally kind of think, or like, anybody who's a rational person will kind of look at that and be like, yeah, maybe the pose doesn't quite suit her. Maybe it is a bit sexualized, all right. Devs will change it and it'll be kind of, that's it. You know what I mean? Fair enough. Whatever.
Yeah.
But talk to me about the new pose then, because was the new pose like not ass first now? Like I kind of saw it, and
well, no, the new pose is still her looking backwards.
She's got a leg
because
up,
that
right?
is.
Did she like something with a leg, right? I don't know.
So it's pretty much the exact same pose, except she has her leg and arm up now.
Right.
So you can still see a very big butt. It's just she's a lot more playful in that pose.
Right.
A lot less suggestive, if you will.
Right, all right.
But here's the thing, like, I didn't necessarily agree with the initial post bringing up this whole controversy to begin with.
Right.
Simply because the person who wrote it seems to have a certain idea of whether or not certain characteristics can define a person. And if a person is cheerful, you know, spunky, quote unquote, like they mentioned, why can't they also be sexy as well? You know, why can't those people?
This is what I don't understand. It's like, you know, in some circumstances, I can, you know, some things are completely over sexualized. I mean, just look at kind of Dead or Alive, you know, volleyball and games like that, I guess. There's cater to that. But it's like, you know, it's like, why can't a woman kind of like show her ass a little bit if she wants to? Like, I know she was like designed like that, but you know, if that kind of suits the character and they wanted to do that, I don't know, man. It's a very weird thing.
Yeah.
Some people get outraged by this stuff and, you know, talk about it. And, you know, I'll notice it, but I don't really care too much to like. So like, let me get it straight. Like, the person who wrote this, would you say they had a bit like maybe a bit of an agenda, like, you know? I don't know. Or was they pretty cool about it? You know.
Well, I mean, they were fair about it. You know, they weren't just like, "This is wrong. This needs to be changed." They were like, "Hey, you know, like my kid looks up to Tracer, and I don't think that's something that, you know,
I see.
I want my kid learning from Tracer." Which, yeah, that's kind of understandable. But at the same time, it's just like, you can teach your child that. What if Tracer is a sexual character? It might not be overtly, you know, but what if it comes out that, you know, Tracer has kind of a dirty side, and who cares? You know, that's her thing. That's part of who she is. And because you're sexual doesn't mean it's wrong, you know? And I feel like that's probably the main gripe that I had with the whole ordeal is, okay, yeah, let's change it, you know, just to make everyone feel better. And the compromise is whatever. It's still, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing I don't want people to take away from that is that being sexual or having a sexuality or celebrating your sexuality is wrong. You know, whether you're male or female, you know, you should be encouraged to, you know, express yourself the way you want. And I don't know, man. I didn't agree with that part of it.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting, and like it's kind of weird as well when you look at it from the fact that the character itself wasn't changed at all. Like nothing in the game was changed, nothing she says was changed. The only thing that was changed was like just some random pose that she does in the game. You know, it's but hey, and the devs changed
and let's be clear,
they must have agreed.
Yeah, well, yeah, they straight out said, like, yeah, we agree. We were toying around with another pose anyway, so this post just sort of validates us to change it anyway. So that was their whole take on it. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to mention too that she's not the only one who has this behind look pose. Like, a lot of characters in the game have this look back pose, and a lot of them are sticking their butt out, kind of. And to be honest, when I first read the article, I was like, I wonder what my body does when I look back, and I kind of poke my butt out too. Maybe I'm just weird like that, but I don't know. Like, when I'm looking behind, sometimes my butt shifts a bit, and it I don't know, maybe someone might think I'm presenting, and I'm just like, hey, you know what, maybe I just like my butt.
Next time you're in the post office, dude, and you look behind you, you know, watch out, ladies. And Keaton's queuing up for that cheese sandwich. All right, let's
move off the topic. Let's get away from my butt. Let's talk about a new potential butt that you could be playing in an upcoming Nintendo game. That was a weird transition. I don't know where that was going. So it was rumored. It's rumored by a somewhat reliable source, I would say. No one knows who this person is, but apparently they've had quite a reputation of being right about Nintendo products. So apparently there's a possibility that Link will be a female, or you'll have the opportunity or the opportunity to choose a female version of Link.
Wait, is this
in the upcoming?
Is this a recent thing? I remember like being like, you know, fantasy kind of bookings of like making like a female Link, but I didn't realize this was something that was actually rumored to be like true.
No, yeah, it was. Well, that's the thing. It's hard to tell whether or not this is accurate or not because it is literally just a rumor. But again, it comes from someone who has somewhat of a reputation for being right. So
I get the whole internet is basically, would you be cool with like a female Link type thing going on right now? Right.
So that's the interesting thing is it brought up again the conversation of playing as a female variant in a very established franchise. Yeah. So I would say that it's interesting because they already introduced a female Link called Linkle quite a while back in that Dynasty Warriors style Zelda game.
That was weird.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting like if they go with Linkle, or are they going to go with like a more presentable, female equivalent of Link? Because
I'm just gonna say there is 100% no chance that Nintendo will make Link female for the next game. There's just no chance. I just cannot see it. I wouldn't actually have a problem with it though. Like, if they wanted to make Link female, like, why not? If they actually gave you a choice, that'd be pretty cool. I'd probably choose the female Link, to be honest with you. But it's like, if there was going to be one Link, can you imagine the uproar from people who just like, who's so like misogynistic and just would fucking hate that change? I don't think Nintendo would want to do that or like get that backlash. But hey, if they do, more power to them, man. I'd be loving it. I think that'd be great. But I just can't see it happening.
So you're saying they're strictly doing it because they want to avoid a controversy?
Yeah, I'd say not just that, but I'd say it's probably part of it. I think they understand that a lot of people kind of identify Link as male, so I don't think they're gonna like switch it up, at least directly. If they give you the option to do it, I think even that would be a good step, That would be a step in the right direction to kind of give you the option to be male or female. But then again,
well, yeah, that's the rumor. The rumor is you can play as male Link, but you'll also have the option to play as female.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That I can see. Yeah, but I just can't see them. I can't see them forcing you to play as a female. But the actual choice is a bit of a weird thing as well, because Link has never actually really been truly kind of defined. As male or female, I guess you could say. It's like it's kind of weird that they will give you the choice. I mean, what would the differences be? Like, would your character look slightly different?
No, I'm sure they have different models, but I feel like if they were going to introduce this type of diversity to a franchise now, I would feel like Link would probably be the easiest to do it with.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because again, he's such a clean slate.
And plus,
or a blank slate, I should say.
Yeah, and the games aren't really canon, I guess you could say. So
technically, there is a canon, but it is so convoluted, and I can't think of the word where they go back and make it. So I can't think of the word.
Retcon.
Someone out there knows retcon. There we go. Yeah,
there we go.
They've done a whole lot of retconning over the years. So yeah.
But yeah, do it. I say do it. I'd love it, man. I'd love to play as a female Link. It'd be great.
I honestly think they would go for it though, because I feel like recently, at least, like Nintendo is really not afraid of backlash as much as like some publishers, I think, because there are a ton of things that happened recently just involving Nintendo getting into hot water with like the internet and like sort of the closed-minded side of the internet, so to speak. Like the whole Xenoblades Xenoblades Chronicle X, I think, with the boob slider and everything, and like the localization changes between the Fire Emblem games, I think.
Right.
So like Nintendo so far has shown that like they are willing to do things regardless if the internet's gonna get mad at them or not. So I don't know. I think that this is good. I feel like Nintendo of all companies has the most pressure on them to really guide the future or the youth. So opening these types of opportunities to be like a kid or a little girl doesn't have to play A Link to the Past and pretend that Link is a girl, Now you can just start it from the start, and your canon for that little girl is I am Link.
If they're going to do that, they might as well just go all out and just let you choose like your ethnicity as well. I'd be down.
Yeah, that could be a thing in the future. We could be seeing, a black Link.
That'd be great.
An Asian Link.
I'd love to do that.
And yeah, that would be great. So you know what? If the gender role is the stepping stone to even more diversity in the future, I say bring it on, Nintendo. Some people on the internet might get mad at you, but
fuck those cons.
I think we here would love for that rumor to be true. So I don't know. Maybe at E3 we'll see. Let's see what happens, and I don't know. Fingers crossed, man. It would be great. It would be pretty monumental if straight out the gate they're just like, look, new Zelda, and boom, female Zelda.
Yeah.
Like, what if the very first trailer that they put out is the female Link?
Yeah, female black Link, man. The internet would die. I'd be down. This whole conversation.
One step at a time, Joe.
This whole conversation is just making me want to go and replay Mass Effect as a female Shepard all the way through.
Well, there was always that rumored HD re-release or something that was supposed to be coming out.
Please, God.
I don't know. Maybe E3.
I don't know. I want to see Liara. I want to see Liara in like HD. Come on.
Yeah, there are probably mods out there that already do that.
Oh, not just her. Anyway. I want to see them all. I wasn't talking about anything dirty. I was saying.
No, I wasn't even saying anything dirty. Right. Like literally, there are mods that make everything like HDified and everything.
Oh, that's probably true. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah. So I was gonna transition with like the re-release thing. So Rust has been going through a re-release as well. And speaking of this whole diversity thing that we're on,
right.
Now you can be a female in Rust.
This is amazing.
But you don't get to decide that.
Yeah.
Is it also your race is also tied to this as well?
So what it originally was, there was an update like quite a while back where it's only male characters though, but it changed. It like shows your race for you and your penis size. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and it was like tied to your Steam account, not your like game account. So it's like if you want to change your fucking character, I guess create a new Steam account, but who does that?
Yeah.
So not only was that a thing, but now they've made it so like female characters are actually in the like pool as well. So when you start the game, whatever the character is tied to your Steam account again, and it could be a dude with a small dick, could be a chick who's like Cherokee. You just don't know. I'm gonna get a little pervy here, but is breast size also counted?
Yeah,
everything.
Is that a thing? Nice.
No, I'm not sure about bush. Like, I don't know if like some characters have more bush than others. I don't know if anyone's clean shaven. I don't really know. I'm not really.
Well, the last I checked, aren't all the characters in Rust like completely bald from head to toe?
Oh, that's probably true. Have they got eyebrows though? I don't know.
Yeah, they probably have eyebrows, but I'm talking like no head hair, no body hair.
Yeah.
You pretty much have the equivalent of the same amount of hair as a baby.
Yeah.
So
and people are so fucking mad, right? At this. And like they were mad before, but now you can be a woman. Fuck me, stand back. I'm so pissed off. It's so stupid, in my opinion, to like actually give a shit about this. Now, I can understand you've been playing a game for a long time, Maybe you've got a character you've grown accustomed to, and they switched it up in the latest update again because they introduced female models. That would be pretty heartbreaking for me. You know what I mean? I've been playing as this dude this whole time, this fucking Chinese dude with a fucking 11-inch cock, and now all of a sudden I'm some ginger female girl. You know what I mean? That might be a bit heartbreaking at first, but you got to remember you're in early access, and that's what you're opting into. Okay. But if you're getting mad at the fact that you can't choose male or female, like actually mad, right? Maybe a comment, I wish I was a dude or I wish I was a female for whatever reason you want, fair enough. But to actually get mad and pissed off at this, it's fucking stupid. Like it actually just makes me like question, like, why would you even give a fuck? If that's the vision of the game and that's what they want to accomplish, and that's what they've made completely clear, which they have, by the way. This has been in the pipeline for a while, and you kind of knew it was coming when they started doing it with the dudes, right? But now that it's apparent females are involved, everyone got so mad about it. It's like, I just don't understand why you get so mad about that. Like, you should have seen some of the Steam. Well, actually, it's the internet, so you can probably imagine why people are getting so mad about it. But
let me argue the devil's advocate side then. I just want to be clear though, I totally dig this idea, but let's just argue it from a different standpoint. So let's say that tying every aspect of your character to one thing that never changes means that you can never do anything but what that character's physical being dictates. You know what I'm saying? So the thing that I've always loved, and it's something that I dig about like wrestling games especially, is the fact that you can create anything you want. Basically, you can be you can dictate. I want to be a superhero. I want to be a I want to be a hairy, disgusting grease pig. I want to be a super sexy assassin. I don't know, whatever. And I feel like from that point, maybe it's taking away a sense of creative freedom. Like there are even there used to be, before Rust went into like the whole redesign, there used to be RP servers where like people would play as characters, and you know, they would look the part, they would act the part, and I feel like from a creative standpoint, I feel like that somewhat could stifle creativity, because let's say that you only spawn as a black woman, let's say. Do you have to play to the stereotype because that's the only thing you can roleplay? Like, you can't play a dude bro jacked out, you know, white fraternity guy because you're a black woman, you know?
Right. And I get it completely, right? Yeah, customization is awesome. I love it. And guess what? There's like a fucking million other games out there where you can customize your character and go on an RP server and play as that character. Hundreds of them.
Sure.
Hundreds. This is one game that is deciding to do things a little bit differently, and tying a character to your Steam account that cannot be changed. And I think it's great. I think it's interesting, and I think it's something different and new. And I think we need a bit of that on Steam in survival games. But if you want to like play a game where nobody gets to choose how they look, and people are just kind of like making the best of what they have been given, you know, some people might not even care. You know, some people just load up, they'll just play as themselves. They don't care what their character looks like.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, they'll blast John Cena's theme music while chasing you down with a crossbow. Who cares, you know?
Female,
black or white, male or female, they'll be a black woman John Cena if they have to.
That's exactly what's going to happen. People just aren't going to care. People are going to play it for the gameplay. They're not going to care about those characters.
I do wonder, though, because, again, this is the internet.
Right.
I wonder, though, that despite the fact that, you know, the developers are trying to do this sort of social, I guess, wrangling.
Right.
I don't know what you would call it, but, you know, or maybe the social reteaching of the concepts. The problem I see with this, though, is that it does approach it from the idea of, like, the general white man, you know? If you are a minority and video games are escapism, and if you are a minority who deals with racism, you know, maybe on a daily basis or whatever, on a regular basis, and you try to go into a game like Rust and you're like, yeah, I finally get to be someone else, and then you find out, which you don't find out until you download the game by, you know, oh great, I'm still a minority, you know.
Right.
I can see that as an issue, you know, like, crap, I wanted escapism, I'm just getting more reality because now I'm a black man in a world and I'm being hunted or being treated differently because these other people are white people. You know, you say no way though, but
I mean, I can understand people being racist when you're playing as a black character, but I don't think a minority is going to play the game and like be pissed off out there, like. But it's spawned in as a black
it's not even
character.
pissed off. It's just feeling. It's just that sense of feeling like, well, this was supposed to be escapism, but now it's just more reality. You know, it's more dealing with the same crap. And you know, I'm not saying that people are going to get outraged about it. Sure, but what I'm saying is that in a game where you can create whatever character you want, at least then that is a sense of escapism that you can't get in Rust.
You know what I like to do?
Which I think...
I like to play as black characters so people like call me racist things because they're fucking idiots. Well,
sure. But then again, you're also a white man. So,
But what I'm saying is, it's like, yeah.
see, when someone calls you the N-word, it could be funny, but when a black guy gets called the N-word, it's just like, whoa, what the hell?
That person
you know?
needs to realize that it's it's the internet, and people shit talk that, whether you're a black character or not. At the end of the day, but it's like I just feel like you might as well just go and play a different game altogether if that's going to be an issue for you. You know, if you want to create your character, then fair enough, go and do it in another game. But
yeah, I don't know. There's always that idea of like, I want to go into one of these games and hope I get like the super sexy female build,
yeah.
just so I can get all the horny teenagers to give me free stuff. You know, it's kind of like the olden days of like the Second Lives and the MMOs where like
exactly
you choose the sexiest avatar to get to just trick the poor hormone-ridden children or preteens out of their stuff.
That's another reason why it's good though, like, because nobody has a choice who they want to be. Literally nobody. So like everybody is just like.
But do you feel that anyone who does get the super sexy avatar gets an advantage? That's an interesting way to look at it, I think.
Because people know that everyone's random, so they're going to see a super sexy chick and be like, "That's definitely."
Well, sure, yeah, you can think about it, but let's. Well, sure, but I'm sure like there's a lot of people out there who are 47-year-old men who got sexy avatars in other games.
Yeah.
Still, we're talking about stupid teenager boys here, you know.
No. Yeah, they were too smart to that than we were back in the day. Like, especially in a game like Rust where you're forced to do that. Yeah, it's just not.
I don't know, man.
No way, dude.
There's a lot of Twitch streamers out there who say otherwise. There's some people who will do a lot of crazy things for boobs.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
If you're doing that in Rust, you're a fucking moron because no one's controlling who they are. Like, you're not gonna fucking start being sweet to some random female character in Rust nowadays because it's obviously not a girl, and it never was before. Most likely, I play as females a lot of the time. You don't want fucking giving me random stuff. No way. But
I'm just sad that I can't create abominations in Rust. You know, I just love being abominations.
You do. But so you might just buy the game and you might actually get an abomination. You just don't know. Play the roulette.
But that's the thing. What if I buy Rust and I become like super sexy, super buff?
It goes against everything you believe in.
Perfect physique. Yeah, I'm just like, no, I'm beautiful. Why? Yeah. Damn it, Rust.
I can definitely see people getting envious of other people's characters, like just how. But for me, it would just be a case of me loading up the game, thinking, what have I got? Who is it gonna be? Oh, I'm a 4-foot Chinese woman. All right, let's play the game. That wasn't meant to be some kind of height.
No, man, I'm with you, man. I would be Big Dick Johnson or Small Dick Johnson. Don't matter. Big booby Linda, flat chested Linda. Who cares, man?
Exactly.
But I think that's a little different for us though, because we feed off of just absurdity, and you know, the more absurd, the better.
Yeah,
but
if you're not open-minded, that's going to bother you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Well, I think what it boils down to really is just, this is clearly a point where the player just doesn't feel they have control. And they think that they deserve control, but because the developers have come out and said, you do not control this at all, I think that's what tipped off a lot of people.
It's just interesting how this is all based on looks as well. Like, there's literally no gameplay changes whatsoever. You can play the game.
Yeah. But society, man. Society teaches you that looks are important. So
yeah. And it is cool. You want to customize your character, I know. Yeah. But in this game,
I see it from both ends, but it's definitely none of these topics that we've talked about deserve anywhere near the amount of controversy they
that's the point. Like, the topics we talked about today, for me, are literally like 10-second thoughts, but somehow we've managed to talk about it for like over 30 minutes.
Well, it's not. Well, I would say that the reality is that there is discussion to be had there.
There is.
But you can't ever have these discussions if everyone is just yelling at each other, you know? And I think that the important thing to really take away from this is, like you said, to be open-minded and to remember that not everyone is the same, you know. And I think that, you know, obviously people are going to have different opinions, but regardless, you know, you just got to respect each other. And I think that I wish that's more something that we would see in these discussions, so that we could get civil, simple mannered discussions without people resorting to name calling and, you know.
Yeah, I just ain't got time for that bullshit these days, you know. It's just crazy to me how like angry, and you know, I don't understand passion. I could understand being passionate about an issue like you know, like in diversity in games and things like that, you know. I'd like to see more of it and things like that, but it's just the people who kind of push against that in such like an angry way, you know. And it's just let's just fucking enjoy playing the games and just have rational conversations about the issues that happen, and let's just not get angry.
Yeah. So, you know, to avoid anyone getting angry at us for continuing to be talking about these topics, let us wrap it up with a general just reminder: everyone is human, everyone has their own opinions. Let's try to respect those opinions and respect the fact that just some people are idiots.
People just can be like, but that's like how people respond though.
Yeah, so that about wraps it up for us this month. Really, we went to the whole gender thing because not a lot other happened this month in terms of like things that we could really talk about. I mean, there were little bits and pieces here, but
dude, we should have been talking about the PS4K.
I don't know, man. Again, I think people got way too overzealous about the whole reaction to that. Some people think that it's going to be an entirely new console. It's not. From what I can understand, it's just an upgraded version that will possibly have some visual options similar to the PC.
Right.
Well, the way I understand it, it's just going to kind of be like PC options where you switch things on and off depending on the operating system.
This is one of those things where it's a clear-cut case of let's just wait until it's fucking announced. You know, and then we can talk about it, because I've been seeing people getting so angry about that. Nothing's been really announced, so. Yeah.
I mean, again, tie it all back to everything we talked about. It's all about that knee-jerk reactions that people have, you know. Knee-jerk reactions are the worst, but that is the nature of the internet. So that is the moral. Do not knee-jerk.
Wait, what?
Whatever. Anyway.
Sound a bit sexual.
Look, if you got a technique called the knee-jerk and it works for you, hey, more power to you. But
the old double knee technique.
In terms of internet reactions, knee-jerk's not necessarily the best thing. But anyway, let us knee-jerk our way out of this episode. So thank you everyone for listening. We will be back next month with another episode, hopefully with a less controversial, or, you know, hopefully something more fun to discuss, so we don't have to be so weird about discussing butts and boobs and, you know. Hopefully it's happier discussions of butts and boobs. Who knows? We'll see. Not my butt. My butt is not a happy story. It spends most of its day in a chair. It can't be that good. I don't know. Maybe it is good. Who knows?
Who knows? If we get 10 likes on this video, we'll post a picture of Keaton's butt.
No, we will not. Okay, I'll go on Google search.
Just find the butt.
Find the best butt I can.
Oh my god.
That'll be an interesting result. But anyway, thank you everyone for listening, watching, whatever you guys are doing. Hopefully you guys weren't weirded out by all the butt talk. And we'll see you guys next month. But until then, take care of yourselves. And we'll see you guys then for another Drop Pod.
See you guys.
Bye.